Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So is
for
everything
sure.
good?
Yes, everything is good. Quick
Nice.
apology. I know you said that it was okay, but I've never forgotten before. I've been so swept up in this whole community issue of funding and everything,
Uh
and I
huh.
just I felt I had to stream about it.
Yeah, I felt, or I saw people talking about it.
Yeah. So that's been a little interesting. But how are you?
I'm great. I feel like life is
Yay.
good. Yeah.
That's
I've
super good to hear.
gotten better at team fight tactics, which I've been playing a lot.
I think, do you say on your stream yesterday that you hit diamond?
Yeah, I hit diamond. I'm hyped because I essentially got to plat 3 within my first 2 or 3 weeks playing the game, having never played a game like it before, and then
Really?
didn't meaningfully improve ranking for the next several months.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I think I hit I figured out everything I figured out very easily, and then I couldn't figure out anything else. Because the stuff that was intuitive was so easy, and then the stuff that wasn't intuitive, I needed more time.
Right, right.
But yeah, so hit diamond there. Been playing melee. Feel like came up with some cool melee stuff.
I loved your stream last night.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad you tuned in. Did you see the chic thing I posted with the
I
turnaround falling needle?
Yeah, you did turnaround falling needle, and then you do the turnaround up B rising too,
Yeah,
right?
you can even with the double jump fair too.
I saw the double jump
Yeah,
fairy. It's
so
wild.
yeah, I feel like it's situationally the best thing to do.
Yeah, I. What would you think the situation is? Like
It's
Fox
there's the
falling?
Fox specifically up being in a spot where he'll either get to wall jump tech or you'll weak back air him and then he'll get to up B and then he might wall jump tech the next thing and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah. There's just that one spacing where needling is much faster than anything else you can do.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So would you like to hear about my big house experience?
Of course, that is what I want to hear about.
Perfect. Okay. So big house happened. Friday was cruise. Nothing really happened there. And then so Saturday I ended up going to my pool. Everything was good. And then I played Swift Base, who played Marth. I just feel like I've gotten so much better against the average Marth since we started our lessons.
Hell yeah.
Game one was a little shaky, from my end, and I still low percent two stocked him. And then game two I four stocked him. And
Yeah.
I was like, nice. That just felt kind of how it was supposed to go.
Yeah. Swift base isn't bad.
Yeah, no, he's not bad. And it used to feel like, oh, I have to play against a Marth. Well, I can just randomly lose, I guess. But it's not like that anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
nice.
so that was really good. And then I played against Dark Atma, and I feel like all the Sheik things that we've ever talked
Okay, he
about.
played Sheik.
Yeah, he played Sheik against me both games.
Okay, okay.
Um, so that went really well. I felt like I was edge guarding consistently. I took the right amount of risk in the corner. I did a lot of plays of forward tilt. When I had the percent advantage, I would let him run into me out of the corner instead of me pushing all the time.
Nice.
So all of that was very, very good. I 2-0'd everybody, and then the next day I had to play Kage, and
Dang, you had a tough bracket though. You had the old school player bracket.
I did, yeah.
That's actually tough because they're seated low but are still pretty good.
Yep, any of them could have just done well that day, and
Yeah,
made
exactly.
it
If you
really
told
hard.
me Dark Atma ended up at 13th that tournament, I'd be like, yeah, that could have happened.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, cool.
I felt the same way. So then I had Kage. We've never talked about Ganon. I feel really comfortable in that matchup, and I kind of just beat him.
Yeah, it's not a hard matchup, I think.
It's really not.
Okay.
And then I played against Zane, which was my big set of the tournament, I guess. And that one, game one, I lost really badly. I refocused myself kind of in game two and made a 3-stock comeback on Dreamland. And then I beat him on FD. I'm the only Falco to have ever beaten him on FD, which is cool.
Oh, yeah.
Then I lost the next FD game, and then I lost on Yoshi's last stock game 5.
Okay. So it sounds like this was an improvement over the past.
It was an improvement, yeah. Certain things I felt really bad about. Certain things I was oh, and I didn't think about this in the moment, but watching it back, I'm if Sammy had seen me do that, he'd be like, come on. We talked about that. You're not supposed to do that, you know? But certain things just felt really good. I felt like I was standing in the right ranges. I felt like I was doing the right things with him in the corner. So a lot of stuff was going right. Some things were going wrong. And I think at least at this point, I have some of the tools available to me now to at least understand what's going on and know what I'm messing up.
That's good.
So then I go to losers, and the opposite of my understanding of everything happened.
Oh no.
And we've talked about. I think it was even me versus None in our lesson before. But I played None, and he is very good to his credit. But like I want to beat him.
Yeah, of course.
And I thought I was playing really well, and then I started playing against None, and he just destroyed me. Yeah, honestly, it was not close. Like game one, I think he three stocked me or something. Game two and three were both on FD, and I think they were like two stocks or one stocks, but it was like I never really had the chance to win.
That makes sense.
But God, it's so hard. I felt like I didn't understand what was happening. It was really weird.
I mean, you haven't prepared versus Falcon in a while, right? Because you don't really have Falcons to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And then it's been really weird for me though, Sammy. The like the journey of my Falcon matchup because when we talked about it, everything that we talked about made so much sense. And I went and I didn't get to play against that many Falcons immediately, but then I got to play against like Riche, who I think is very good, and I played like a good amount of friendlies with him, and like everything I was doing was working. I was edge guarding so much more consistently.
Big House?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Wait, was this at Friendlies in Big House?
No, this was at a Smash Camp.
Okay. That's
which was still, yeah. Well, it was still after our lessons, and I felt like everything from the lessons was applying. I thought it was working, and then and I played a couple of other good Falcons like Bab or whatever, and then I go and I play like one of the top 3 Falcons, and they still just beat me. It's like it feels so frustrating.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, first thing I recommend is sit down and play Johnny, Wizzy, or None in Friendlies at the next opportunity you get.
That's a really good idea.
Like when I was playing Fox Falcon, and I was like, man, I swear to God, I'm good at this matchup. And then I play it in tournament versus one of them, and then I lose, and I don't know what's happening. What I did was the next like 2 or 3 majors, if I ever saw Johnny, I was like, yo, can we play some friendlies? And he was always down. And then I just got way better at the matchup in tournament afterwards.
I don't think I've ever played any of them in friendlies. So
there you go. I think if you played like None for 30 minutes, Johnny for 30 minutes, Wizzy for 30 minutes, your life would probably change.
Okay, that is very good advice. I will make it a point to do that.
It just matters so much. Because, like, that's what I kind of use majors for sometimes. Like, is grinding the matchups that I know I'll never get to play. But not, like, grinding them for hours. Grinding them just enough to, like, be like, okay, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. I understand how it feels. So if I were to play them again, I would at least have some idea of what to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the way it feels right now is I feel like I have a structure for like how to go about the matchup in general. But as soon as there's like something specific that somebody's due to like directly beat one of my things, it's like I don't feel like I have the next step like ready.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, playing them and getting experience is probably like the key. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's so important. But okay, I mean this doesn't sound like a bad tournament for you at all, though.
No, not really a bad tournament. I ended up getting 17th, was a little disappointing, but like None got upset, so I ran into him like a little earlier in brackets. So and I made it close with Zane, and I was happy about my play there.
Wait,
so
who did he lose to?
He lost to Forrest, the Mars.
Yeah. Ellis is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I also think Nun's not very good versus Marth, so.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, he's not, and Ellis has a lot of Falcon practice, obviously.
I thought about that too.
So, makes sense.
But I was gonna say if we I guess structure this lesson around something, I guess Falcon's the one I'm yearning to learn more about. I guess.
Yeah. What do you have footage of?
So I don't have footage of me versus None, which is really unfortunate. We played off stream. I do have sets of me versus Wizzy, of me versus Johnny, and me versus None at different tournaments, but we've already looked at me versus None at kind of the most recent one that was on stream.
How similar do you think the set you last played with None was to this set?
Decently similar.
Okay. Well, if it was decently similar, I feel like that's good because it means that you already have something to look back on that would help you improve.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. If it was similar, then I think that's actually fine. It just means go rewatch the lesson, maybe rewatch the set on your own, see if you can pick everything out, and then rewatch the lesson and see if you feel like everything lines up. And if so, then it really just means you needed more practice implementing, probably.
Yeah, true.
And If not, then I mean we can talk about stuff and see what doesn't make sense.
For sure.
And then next time, if you get to play them in friendlies and stuff, or if not, you play them in tournament, and things feel like they're going the same still, then I think that just means you need to sit down and get to play them. But if it goes differently, then maybe we can talk about new things.
Yeah. One thing maybe we could talk about, and we talked about it for a little bit at the tail end of the lesson on Falcon last time, was how Mango does it. Because when I watch Mango play against, and it doesn't even matter which Falcon it is.
He just plays the same way versus all of them, and it just works.
Yeah. And why does it just work every time? Why is it whenever I do anything, it never works? It's like, so maybe taking a closer look at what Mango's doing could be beneficial?
I mean, I think the crux of why what Mango does works is because the Falcons are all awful out of shield. So, well, they're either awful out of shield or shield way too much.
Okay.
Well, it is both of those things, actually. But, like, sometimes the interactions go badly for one reason, sometimes they go badly for another reason. And I'm down to watch Mango vs. Falcon, but I'm fairly confident that you'll see that, like, that's a big part of it.
I'd like to watch it.
Yeah,
still,
I'm down.
I think.
Yeah, I'm super down. If you have a Mango Nun set you want to watch, maybe we can watch one of those.
Last time I think we took a look at them playing. Let's see. Oh, that's Mango's Captain Falcon versus Nun's Falco. We took a look at their first game of them playing at Smash Summit 6. I'm trying to see if there's a more recent set. It doesn't look like there is, which is a little unfortunate. How have they not played more? It's the one time they've played?
That's a good question.
I guess so. So yeah, this is what I've got. I'm going to link it.
Yeah, I'm down to watch it. But yeah, I mean, I think Mango generally doesn't have bad habits and scrambles, which is a big way to die to Falcon. Generally, his defense is pretty decent. I think the Falcons are typically let Mango get on top of them pretty easily and then don't really have great defense. And then Mango's punish game is really good.
Anyway.
And I feel like when all those things add up, it's like, it's unsurprising, I guess, that Mango generally wins.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. But man, I wish I could play Mango with my Falcon. I really
Do you think it would go well?
Yeah, I think it would go exceedingly well.
Wow.
You've played me in that matchup before, right?
I feel like I've played a couple friendlies with you in that matchup, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like...
Oh, I for sure have, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's a matchup I'm really good at, and I also think that the stuff Mango does explicitly is bad versus what I do, so, like, that helps. But, yeah, it's just like, if you watch Mango fight different Falcons, you'll actually see the different holes based on who he's playing. Like, when he played Gatsu at Big House last year, Gatsu actually did really well versus him, only because he did some things that were, like, slightly different than what the other Falcons did.
Really?
Yeah. Like, if you ever watch Mango versus Gatsu at last Big House, it's like, Mango won solidly, but it's like, Gatsu definitely had his openings, you know what I mean? Like, well, if you watch, like, Mango versus Johnny, sometimes it feels like Johnny didn't even have the openings.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but no,
it feels like the whole time he never had a chance to play.
Gatsu absolutely had the openings. Also, if you watch the last Mango Johnny set, there was one where, like, Mango like, bodied him, and everyone was like, holy shit, this was amazing. Johnny, like, barely took a game, but, like, otherwise Mango was going in. The one game Johnny took, the only difference was that he stomped out of shield, and he didn't stomp out of shield a single time in any of the other games. And then he stomped out of shield literally twice. They both hit, and then he killed Mango.
Dang.
And it's like all the Falcons just super, super respect Mango, essentially.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
And it's just bad, but I don't know. That's not my problem, I guess. That is their problem.
That makes sense.
So let's watch. I guess we can skip game one. Since we talked about it.
Do you think that Dreamland is Falcon's best stage against Falco, by the way?
Oh, that's tough. I think every stage is good for Falcon.
Really?
Yeah. It's one of the matchups where literally any stage I strike to, I feel pretty comfortable.
Okay, that's interesting.
I don't think of them as good so much as, like, none of them... Like, I have advantages on every stage, I guess, is what I would say.
That makes sense to me.
And
I was just curious.
Yeah, sometimes there are matchups where it feels like there is no meaningful advantage for my character being on the stage, if that makes sense. But with Falcon, even with the disadvantages that come, he always has some advantages. And I feel that pretty strongly about like literally every stage in the matchup. So
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
yeah, you know, if it's Yoshi's, you know, Falco can't really win neutral as easily by being defensive. I think that's really big. If it's like a big stage, then Falco can't really catch Falcon. He has as much time to like run around on the platforms as he wants until he comes down and like power shields one laser. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess none picks Mango to Dreamland.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And that's where he always counterpicks me too. So
seems like, reasonable. So Mango like chases none onto the platform, and then yeah, I mean that's unsurprising to me. So this is an example. I think Falco chasing Falcon on a platform is always dicey business, and Mango does it anyway 2 times in a row, and he gets wrecked for it.
I always feel like I'm very unsuccessful chasing Falcons onto platforms.
Yeah, you have to be very careful doing it, and it is generally not recommended that you do it, I think. And here's a perfect example. And then, lo and behold, Mango loses the scramble afterwards because he's not ready, and then he loses the next scramble, neither of which were real mix-ups for Falcon. I just think Mango didn't react very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he got turnaround gentleman, didn't CC it till too late, shouldn't have even gotten jabbed, and then even once he got hit by the gentleman, he like held shield and reacted really slowly out of it, right? So like again, none just one platform interaction into 2 scrambles, and now he's gonna kill Mango, and that's it. And it's like, yeah, this is how all the Falcos lose to Falcon. I feel like.
How do you think Falco should go about Falcon on the platform then? Do you think that like poking with short hop up airs is like good?
Yeah, you have to just be more. Try to not be on the platform unless you have a good reason to be.
Okay.
I guess the way I think of it is in a lot of matchups, going to the platform, like people go to the platform kind of arbitrarily. Like they didn't have an option in mind that they beat. They just wanted to generically pressure the opponent.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of characters, when they get out of that situation versus Falco, don't necessarily get very much out of it. So it kind of feels like, Falco might as well. He might get something, you know? It's just Falcon is one of the only characters where, like, he has the speed to get out, but then also put you in a bad situation afterwards.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So that's not to say you can't attack him on the platforms. It just means that you need to be a lot more intentional, I think, rather than other matchups where you can kind of be like, whatever, I'll go try it.
Yep. Do you think that there's much benefit in like being on the other side of the stage and just not engaging with it? Because I feel like Falcon can attack pretty effectively like from the platform all the way across the stage.
Yeah, I usually just, if I'm already far away, I just try to safely laser his potential landings from the platform until I can get closer. And usually I get closer just by like dashing or something.
Yeah.
Or like an approaching laser. But then if I'm already close, I generally just stay close.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I do agree he can attack really far, but it's not like he can attack like the middle area very well. And then if he attacks really far, it's like usually pretty easy to shield it or CC or something like that.
Yeah, I remember one of the big things that you talked about before was like anytime you see Falcon jump, like if you're not prepared to like straight out beat it, like you can always shield.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's something I'm trying to get better at. That makes sense.
It's hard, but once you can do it, I feel like it makes him a lot less scary. But yeah, see like what I mean about Mango losing scrambles?
Yeah.
Like it's such a big deal. Okay. So I think both of Mango's big openings were by naring Falcon out of jumps.
It was, yeah. I feel like that never works for me.
Yeah, so I wonder what about it. Yeah, I mean, it was just... So that's the thing. If none had dash dance grabbed, like, it would have just beaten what Mango did.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like Mango's style in the matchup, and that's kind of what I was saying, that, like, if he played a Falcon that just dash dance grabbed more, he would have a lot of trouble, because he relies on poking Falcon out of the air a lot for his biggest openings.
Do you think that there's any merit to the idea that people like play differently against Mango? Because I feel like none dash dance grabbed me a shit ton. Maybe that's like something that he's doing now that he wasn't doing before.
So one, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I think all the Falcons have improved a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Like I think of all the characters I've seen, like the Falcon players are the ones I've been seeing improve the most.
Okay.
Like, I can watch Johnny and be like, whoa, he wouldn't have played like that a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think that, like, we can't just, like, generalize it. Because, sure, like, maybe none dash dance grabbed you, but maybe he didn't dash dance grab you out of scrambles. Maybe he dash dance grabbed you out of situations where you clearly felt like you had him pinned down or something, you know? Well, Mango only maybe nairs at Falcon when he has no meaningful advantage, you know? Which sounds dumb, but, like, that's a big difference, right?
For sure.
Like, if we look at this situation, like, it was pretty even frame advantage. And what I think happened is None was probably thinking, oh, Mango's landing, so let me attack him before he, like, gets a laser out or something. So that's why I think it works. So I think it's just it's just one of those things where Mango's default option set is strong versus a lot of other people's default option set. But then there are very few players that have, like, a holistic set of mix-ups.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I don't think any of the top Falcons are good at actually playing a variety of options in any given situation, if that makes sense.
It definitely does.
Well, like, that's why I said I thought my Falcon would do good, because, like, I could see that situation and be like, okay, like, a third of the time, I'm just going to dash dance. And I'm just going to commit to that, you know, regardless of, like, what Mango's doing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, see, he dash dance grabbed him. Great. Right? And then it's like, see, they get in a scramble afterwards. It's not looking pretty. So then it's funny because as soon as Mango gets dash dance grabbed, what does he do? He starts approaching lasering instead.
That's true.
Like, Mango's he's a very level 1 adapter. Like, if I were to dash dance grab Mango once or twice, I would just be like, okay, now time to beat approaching laser. Because, like, essentially the way I view Mango is that he always plays the game as if he's better than you. He doesn't ever play the game as if you guys are equal skill level. He's just used to beating up on people he's worse than, and he assumes that every adaptation and insight he has is going to be something the other person's not aware of.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that is why it works, though, because, like, it's like most people are stuck playing kind of like their own game, and Mango just usually one-ups it, and then, like, but again, None wasn't even, like, guaranteed to get hit after that approaching laser. If he just spammed, like, Gentleman or a dashback after that laser, he would have been fine.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like all the Falcons essentially are only good at the first level of the interaction max. Like, they'll do the first thing, and then that's it. They wouldn't, like, for example, dash back repeatedly across the stage.
Would you go back a little bit more to where Mango was, like, originally knocked down?
Yeah.
Just because he got thrown, and I think he gets hit. And then, that happens to me a ton. Where on Wake Up, I just do, like, drift forward aerial. And we recently talked about how, like, there's no real reason to drift it forward. Like, you should be drifting it back a lot.
Yeah,
But then None does this every time after he's wrong on a tech.
Yeah, he just nairs every time.
He just nairs every time.
Yeah.
What do I do if I know that that's... Because I don't have the option.
Yeah, I mean, you just nair at him, right?
Is that, like, dash nair, just straight up?
Yeah, dash nair.
And they'll just beat him on the startup of his nair.
Well, so usually what's happening is he has to account for, like... So it depends, right? Like, there's a big difference between he whiffs a knee, trying to knee tech in place, and you tech roll, and then he just instantly dash forward jump nairs. I think that would probably beat you nairing. But, like, here, like, you saw he had, like, a dash dance first, right?
Yeah.
So I think it, like, kind of depends on the situation.
Okay.
Because, like, he whiffed jab already, and then he tried to nair. So that's, like, a little different, you know? So these are not all the same nair.
Yeah,
how I do it.
True. I just feel like I get out of every tech chase. Like, oh, haha, None read wrong. Look at him, dirty reader. He's not even, reacting.
I know what you mean.
And then it doesn't matter. I just get hit by the nair.
Well, if we pull up... Here, let me pull up you versus None real quick.
Okay.
And we can see because, again, I think that the situations aren't all the same. You guys played at SmashCon, right?
Yes.
Need to find a Okay, let's watch a Battlefield game. That should be the easiest to find. A non-weird tech chase.
Unless we play an FD or something. But yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay, let me look for this. First time he missed a tech chase, you back aired and it beat him trying to dash dance.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was good. Thought it was good. Yeah, you back aired again. Oh, I think we talked about this last time, but you did the thing where on Wake Up, you did retreating back air, but I told you should drift in with back air if you want to beat his nair.
Yeah, I have been trying to pay attention to me doing that, and I don't know. I haven't gotten enough practice.
Yeah, exactly. But like, look at this clip. I think this will, because we actually talked about it last time. I remember.
I do. I remember talking about it.
Yeah,
too.
and I actually think dash at him nair would lose in this spot. But I think the back air should have won if you executed it differently.
I'm just supposed to. It's so scary.
Yeah, but if you drift away, you are likely to let Falcon win because of his range advantage, or you're going to get like a weak back air, and that's a smaller hitbox.
Oh, you're right.
You want to rely on the fact that Falcon's hitboxes are not disjointed. They're just long.
Yeah, okay. That's a really good point.
Cool. Yeah. So I think, like, again, like the wake up back air drift towards him is definitely the answer. But then it's like, in this specific spot, I think Mango could have aggressively nared and it would have worked.
Okay. I'm understanding. It just feels so bad to get hit by the nair. It really does.
I agree. I mean, the big thing is just like, he's spacing around shine, spot dodge, and up tilt, but he's not like doing it. I mean, if you don't want to hit him and you just want to be safe, you can always just dash.
Just like dash back, like turn around laser or something?
I mean, dash back into whatever you want, right? It's going to be safe. Like, you don't have to hit him. But if you want to hit him, I think back air towards him is good.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so next hit Mango got. None had just messed up. Okay, double lasers get wrecked. Okay. So see, I feel like Nunn's doing great versus Mango.
Yeah, no, he's doing pretty well.
And it's like, the only reason he's even losing is because he got 0 to death, which should like not really happen in my opinion. And then see, at this point, Mango's just like, okay, laser approaching laser, laser approaching laser. Like, that's...
Because that hasn't gotten beaten yet.
Yep, hasn't gotten beaten yet. And it's like, that's kind of his default versus Johnny already, I think. And it's like, it seems like Nunn dashes back the first time and then holds up. Nunn never dashes forward, if you notice. He, at this point, is not using jab after laser. I don't know if that's something he's added to his gameplay.
He apparently spammed it every single laser that ever happened against Frenzy. And then I played him directly after because he
and
played
he like
Frenzy
didn't do it like at all.
He never did it a single time.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that because I think jab after laser is really good, and I think
it's really good too.
Yeah, but as far as I see, when I watch Nunn fight, like when I watch any of the top Falcons fight Mango, they never do it. So currently, I'm under the assumption that he's just not going to do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but yeah.
It is weird. I just wish I knew what to expect when I go in to the Falcons.
But to be fair, if you just have a good game plan, it won't matter.
That's true. You're right.
So it looks like Nunn's probably gonna even win this game. And like again, this is like the extent of what okay, so this time Nunn's got the dash dance grab. But again, it's funny because like Nunn hasn't shown that he's ever gonna beat approaching laser either. So
yeah, true.
It's just Mango finally convinced himself that this time he's actually close enough to laser aerial.
Yeah.
But, like, I think part of that is because UCF is, like, a big changer. Like, I think there's a lot of ranges. This used to happen to me where, like, laser aerial felt good. And I realized it's just because it's the distance where it's kind of ambiguous if it beats dashback or not. But then on top of that, people would miss dashbacks a lot.
Yeah, so it just works out like 75%.
Yeah, it works out often enough that it's good risk reward. But now that same exact spacing is actually bad risk reward.
Yep.
And I think that probably happened to Mango here. But yeah, again, it's like, this is what I see all the time in sets. It's like he finally convinced himself he had time, but it's like he still didn't. And this is like how people lose to Zane too. It's like he still didn't have time. He's still gonna dash back just like the last 10 times he did. And it's like you have to not like get caught up in the moment of convincing yourself that like you actually can do it or whatever. Because like you can't.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. This is funny.
It is a little silly.
Yeah, Nunn likes the full hop out of shield, which is pretty good versus Falco, I think.
We talked about that last time.
No, I definitely think it's just good. Okay. Aha! Again, any Falcon that would just dash dance grab would do well versus Mango. Imagine if that was Wizzy.
Yeah, right.
Like, imagine if literally every grab off the dash dance grab was Wizzy, and then it went back to Nunn edge guarding. Like, I think Mango would not have a chance.
Oh, that's so crazy because he hasn't lost to a Falcon like ever.
Yeah, but that's because like none of them have pieced it together.
I know it's.
I mean, alternatively, Nunn just has to guess right enough times, but like.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and again, like none gentlemen's, and he just dash short hop like every time. It's all about the scrambles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mango actually grabbed. People say Mango doesn't grab, but he did it.
Right.
Yeah, and then see, it seems like a lot of the times he just relies on shielding Falcon's aerials in the scrambles. And like I said, shielding's not that bad because shine out of shield's like pretty good versus a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So when I shield Falcon aerials a lot of the time, it feels like I just not just. It feels like the mix-ups are kind of trickier than like some of the Falcons are actually doing. Like I feel like if they do like knee or late nair or late up air into like jabs, that can be kind of like weird and tricky, and it'll like catch my buffered rolls.
Yeah, so like essentially you should just start with the assumption that no Falcon will grab you after aerialing your shield.
Okay, you think that's a good place to start?
I think you should just assume that first if you want to perform better. Mm-hmm. It's good to keep in mind that they do have the option, but like no Falcon is going to nair hit with the second hit really late and then just instantly grab point blank.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've just never seen someone do it in the entire history of Melee. So like, until someone does that, like, then I will be wrong. I've seen knee grab, but that's it. I've never seen up air grab. I've never seen bear turnaround grab,
Me neither. Yeah.
So it's just like start from there. If you think they're going to jab, I think there's two ways to beat it. One is you just shine out of shield before the jab, which works depending on how high the aerial is. Another thing you can do is wait for the jab and then shield grab and ASDI down. And then the thing West Balls does that I think is pretty good is after the aerial hits his shield, he wave dashes in while holding down and then times a shine so that he shines their first jab.
Okay.
Does that one make sense?
Yeah.
That's like the standard option set I've seen to beat it. That's how Wes used to beat Johnny every time, is Johnny would outplay Wes the entire time, but then always aerial jab, and then Wes would shine combo him.
Okay.
And then the entire set was just Wes wave dashing out of shield into shine into like big combos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I feel like I just never get reversals out of like them hitting my shield. I feel like it's always like, should I like roll and then they eventually like read one of my rolls and I die? Or, my buffered roll gets jabbed and then I eat the gentleman, I get knocked down and then I die.
Yeah.
Or,
make him grab you.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
So use shield grab, use ASDI down, use wave dashing. If you're gonna roll, do really safe rolls, like roll backwards, not forward.
Okay, yeah, that'll make sense.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, we see sure, Mango won this game, but like I don't really think what Mango did was that great. It's just, again, he played well in scrambles for the most part. He didn't even play that amazing. It's just, I'd say like 50% of the scrambles resulted in him getting some form of hit or avoiding none. Which isn't even actually that great. It's just better than what other people do. Because I think like Falcon scrambles shouldn't immediately result in Falco getting hit that often.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They should kind of result in like Falcon having an advantageous situation, and maybe 2 or 3 interactions later Falcon gets the hit. But like usually the first part of the scramble shouldn't be the part that hits you, if that makes sense. And then approaching laser into walk up shine hit like every time.
Do you think, I don't know, I overcomplicate everything so much that I'm not like, okay, they beat out my laser aerial, I will now just approaching laser until they beat my
but that's how Mango plays.
He really does. Like I do a ton of Mango analysis. I like mention like, okay, last time he got hit by this, so like now he's gonna do this, and then like it happens on the screen, and it's like, yeah, he's like very level 1 with his adaptations, but it's like so effective because he's very straightforward about it.
He's straightforward, he executes well, and also other people are just bad at mix-ups. Like people have a game plan that is not fully like developed.
Yeah.
There's no Falcon player that at the range where Mango is laser approaching aerial versus laser, where they will mix up dash forward, dash back, jab, and like shield. Like for example, literally no Falcon in the world currently does that with a good percentage of mixing up. And like if there was just one Falcon that could do that and had a good punish game, they would automatically like be in a good spot to do well versus Mango. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
There was that drifting back here that we were just talking about.
He drifts in, not away. The only time you want to drift away is if you need the space for the startup of your aerial.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, if you need the startup, then that was a great back air. Holy moly.
Can we go back and
Yeah,
watch
I'm
it?
gonna go back. It was just a really good combo choice, in my opinion.
Oh.
I don't think that's a standard combo choice versus Falcon, but
I don't think so either.
I thought it was actually probably the best option. Nice. That was a good edge guard. Bang.
My edge guards were terrible against Falcon, by the way. Oh,
Yeah, and I mean, I think I might have said this last time, but the first thing I always ask someone who tells me they're bad versus Falcon is I say, how well can you edge guard him?
Yep.
That's always, like, IBDW wanted to do a lesson with me specifically versus Falcon because he felt really frustrated. I was like, I'm down to talk. And before we even did the lesson, I was like, are you good at edge guarding Falcon? He said no. And I was like, we probably don't even have to talk. Because, like,
yeah,
if you just edge guard Falcon every stock, it's so powerful. It, like, completely changes how the match ends up going. Like, look at this edge guard. It was so good. And then, like, that's it. He didn't have to work hard. He didn't have to do anything else unless he misses this. What a buster.
what a buster.
After all that, he could have just charged up smash, I think, there.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It's funny that you say he probably could have charged F smash there. I probably would have done the Mango.
You would have done what?
I probably would have done the exact same edge guard as Mango. I would have grabbed the ledge, I would have tried to back air it, and I would have fell for the drift. Like, literally, I would have done the exact same thing.
If you're gonna grab the edge there, you should just shine stall so that you can back air all the drifts.
That makes sense to my brain. Okay.
But,
I mean, you shouldn't grab the ledge there.
Yeah, you just shouldn't grab the ledge, is the real answer.
Yep, and I've been trying to not grab the ledge, and I still find myself doing it, but I yell at myself when I do it.
Yeah, it's just habitual. But yeah, then Mango, like, tries to get an aerial out or a laser when he doesn't have time. Probably tried to back air, but it's just too slow. That's a big thing when you fight, like, Nun or Johnny or Wizzy. It's like, man, they're fast. Like, you think you have time, but that's just because everyone's really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it seems like this game, something unique, is that Mango's lasered Nun out of the air a lot. That's something that didn't really happen in the previous games, from what I remember. That's
true. Yeah.
It's happened 2 or 3 times, and I think it's led to, like, pretty good situations, like that one, for example. So, like, I think, like, Nun was chasing Mango around on the platforms, and then Mango did something tricky. So, like, a big difference here we're seeing is, like, when Mango's in the air, he's actually outplayed Nun instead of just getting put in a bad spot, and that's led to, like, good situations for him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I also feel like every hit has just been, like, an enormous combo.
Yeah,
like,
it has been.
Excessively so. Like, because that conversion was kind of crazy. Like, the Nair to Dare.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, stuff like that also... Like, Mango's overall punish game is good, but it's, like, very, like... I mean, I'm sure you and I do the exact same combos. But, like, that combo starter was just, like... He's not always doing stuff like that. But, like, stuff like that makes such a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
I feel like I do not operate the same way.
Yeah, and I feel like Nun could have... But Nun could have shielded that down air, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I think he just didn't. So, like... I mean, yeah, that's a huge difference. Oh, that was almost sick by Nun. I feel like Nun's just getting nothing off every hit.
Yeah. Can we go back a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, this is perfect.
See how, like, Nun keeps jumping into Mango's lasers?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's why Mango's getting such juicy, like, free delayed aerial approaches. Mm-hmm, is, like, instead of, like, freaking out and, like, rolling or spot dodging, Mango's just reacting and then, like, lasering out of the pressure.
Uh-huh.
So, like, watch this. But, like, Nun didn't have to dash away. He could have challenged Mango after he rolled.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, like, go back to where Nun rolls. He could have just jabbed immediately. Or, like, done a Nair in place immediately. Mm-hmm. In fact, if Nun had Nair, he would have destroyed Mango there.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just, like in the scrambles, all the Falcons play defensively. So as long as Mango lasers out of all the scrambles... Like, if it's a scramble where Falco has advantage, I should say. If it's a scramble where they have advantage, they play it aggressive. But if they have disadvantage, they just always retreat.
Okay.
Or
that
hold
makes
shield.
A lot of sense.
Yeah. And I think Mango gets a lot out of it. Also, Nun just never holds shield. Like, he just gets hit by Shine every time Mango's near him.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed that? So, like, a
I
lot of the
have,
times,
yeah.
none has grabbed Mango because Mango hasn't been in range to shine. So it's kind of worked. But as long as Mango's in range to shine, I feel like he's just, what's it called? Just shine none literally every time. And that seems like a huge thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, I thought the Nair was pretty good. Kind of like a whiff punish on Falcon, just jumping in from way too far away.
But none also just stood there, right?
Yeah, I mean, none could have done something.
I,
Maybe.
why did he just stand there? Like, just when I play Nut, I feel like I can't hit him. He's so fast and slippery. And like, oh yeah, just nair at him. He'll just stand still.
I think
I know
since
that's not what you're saying.
I think probably since none was
Frustrating.
invincible, he probably didn't think Mango would do anything.
Yeah, that's
But
a
I
good
also
point.
think that like this nair wasn't that bad because even if Falcon dash back, like you can't really whiff punish that nair consistently
Yeah,
because it was like a
yeah.
delayed nair that was kind of spaced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just,
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I see it.
yeah, like it wasn't amazing, but it was at least like it wasn't bad. And then again, like I think Mango's gotten to the point where he's like, okay, I'm just gonna approaching laser you, approaching
Yeah.
laser, approaching laser. That was good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the biggest thing is he did a very good job hitting None out of the air that game.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's like related to None not being very patient.
Yes, that makes sense.
Like None was always trying to fight when he was in the air. So like it worked kind of at first, and Mango's like, okay, I get it. You're just always trying to hit me, so I will avoid you and laser you, or I will hit you first, depending on like which one I have time to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Like even after watching that, Mango just it seems like it was so easy.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, just approaching laser, and if he dash backs or if he shields, I mean he's trying to attack immediately out of shield every time as soon as you get close to him. So the shine that you're trying to hit him with is going to hit every time.
Yeah.
If he tries to dash back, you're going to mess him up every time for doing it. And if he's not going to jab, then like what else is he supposed to do? Dash
Yeah.
forward? Well, he's
But
not
then
doing
what
that either.
happens is like, for example, let's say like you do that. I think when you do that versus None, it probably also works. Like I doubt that that's the problem because like this goes back to like if I ever watch you versus Zane, almost always the first stock is like, yeah, you approaching laser him out of his dash back, it's all easy. You end up like F smashing him a ton the first stock, it looks free. But then inevitably what happens is just a new interaction occurs, you get sucked into it, and then you don't start playing the way you were playing before.
Right.
Like,
yes.
if there's anything to be said about Mango, it's sure he was winning the same way, but at least he was committing to winning the same way he was winning the whole time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like if I were to watch you versus Zane and compare that to like like Mango versus None, it was just like, yeah, like it would literally look exactly like that, and then after you started winning, you'd do something different, or something weird would happen, and then you wouldn't know how to play it. And I think Mango did a good job not letting the weird things lead to stock losses, and then he would go back to what he was doing.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Other thoughts that I have. I think that Mango did a good job of avoiding things when he like was on wake up. I think that he did the back airs that we were talking about. He also a couple times, even that last game, did like dash away laser.
Yeah, I agree. Dash away laser, back airs. He would roll in certain scrambles. You know, they're not all exactly the same, but I feel like all his options were pretty straightforward and seemed pretty good.
Yeah. It also seemed like I'm not sure if it seemed like this to you, but when they were really far away for whatever reason, I feel like Mango would kind of wait for None to like approach from cross stage.
Yeah.
And then like now they're close, and then they can like play kind of a
No, I
better
agree.
mix up for
I think
Falco.
I do that too.
Yeah, but when they were ever close, I feel like Mango was always pushing, like every single time.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense because like a lot of times if you're across the entire stage, like you don't want to let like Falcon get you in a weird situation for free. But like because he can't actually hit you easily, it's relatively low cost to like wait and see what happens. It's not like Mango never lasered, right? It's just like he was willing to wait and see what would happen before committing to something.
Yeah. I feel like what happens to me. Oh, this is kind of interesting. So right before I played against None, Fiction walked up to me, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play some friendlies?" I was like, "No, I have to play None." He's like, "Oh, you got it, right? Like Falcon versus Falco?" And I was like, "Well, I've never beaten him before." and he was like, "Oh, really? I've never lost to him before." And I was like, "Oh, wow, cool." And then he said, but he said, what I always do. Here's the secret to None. He's like, all I do is camp him really hard, and then you can tell when he's gonna like jump across the stage, and you meet him in the middle, and your moves are always gonna win. And like I tried that for the first two stocks, and every time I'd nair at him, his nair would just beat my nair, or he would knee me out of the air. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, why am I trying to? It just wasn't working. I was like, I don't know.
No, I understand that. I definitely think Falcon's moves can beat spacey moves. It's just, it really depends on the interaction. Like, people used to just say Falcon moves just lose, but like, it actually really depends on how fast the Falcon does it and what the spacing is.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, you just have to be careful. I don't think that's actually a bad idea versus none. It's just like, again, like I actually kind of like what Mango did at the end, even though like none did stand there. It's like, let him whiff and then do something.
Yeah, from like really far away, let him whiff and then do something. And I also think it's just more effective to be close to him. It seems like.
Well, I mean, there's no matchup where you really want to be far away, right?
Yeah, I mean that's how I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you always want to be able to hit them somehow, right? It's just you want to be close to them on your terms, not on their terms.
I think Falco's good at being close on his terms, though.
Yeah, I agree. So I mean, that should consciously be the objective, I think.
Yeah, I guess it just makes me think sometimes when people like, I don't know if you've ever heard people say this, but like people will say like out of meta Falco right now is like a really smart defensive Falco who like camps and like circle camps Peach constantly and just stays really far away.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't think he can take advantage of like any of his like frame advantage or like positional advantage if he does that. I feel like his defensive tools are like pretty good, but you're not going to like get any meaningful openings. You also give your opponents a lot of opportunity to like move forward or reposition themselves correctly.
That makes sense.
So I don't know. When I watch Mango and he's standing close and it's working well every time, I'm like, oh, you should just be fast and close to them. It seems to work.
Yeah, I will say though, like as I said, I think the Falcons are not particularly strong versus what Mango's doing.
True.
They are strong versus other things. Like it's not like they don't have developed game plans. It's just like they clearly don't have developed flowcharts for I think somewhat common situations, and Mango likes to force those situations.
Yeah, it really did seem like the majority of the neutral interactions were just Mango approaching with either air.
Yeah, and like they are. They definitely are. It's just
why is it that easy?
Well, again, I think it's that easy for you too. Like I've watched you play and do that equally successfully.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think the problem is ever how you start off neutral versus these people.
Okay.
Yeah, every time I've watched you fight someone, and I'm like, okay, anytime you do the easy thing Mango does, like it works the same. Or at least I feel that way when I've watched you.
I feel the same way too when I watch myself. Or
yeah, so I think it's other stuff. It's like, how does the scramble translate into something? Like, you know, by game 3, Mango's scrambles in the air led to him lasering none out of the air into a delayed aerial. Like, that's extremely powerful. And like, you know, that probably matters more than like a lot of other things.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's just the thing with Melee. Lots of things can be good and not be impactful.
That's a really good statement.
Yeah, right? Like, you can do 10 things better than Mango, but if each of them was worth very small value and the one thing he did well led to a 0 to death, he is better than you by default. That's just how the game works.
Sammy, this is exactly how I feel about Melee. I'm like, when I play against Kalindi and I'm playing Falco versus Fox, Kalindi and I got to a point where we were like, you know what? I think that we might be better than Lef and Mango at Falco versus Fox. Like, we're doing so many things like better, and we're doing so many things faster.
Yeah, you guys are. It just doesn't matter. That's just what Melee is.
I hate the world, Sammy.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I don't like the game very much. That's probably one of the biggest reasons, is that it's like the impact of your decisions is like much more important than like how many things you're good at.
Well, I still want to be good at Melee.
Yeah, and if you still want to be good, then it just means you need to like be very actively aware of the fact that these things are the case.
Yes, definitely.
And then get better at those things.
Yes, I agree.
Cool.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you want to do now? I'm gonna talk a little bit more if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to talk a little bit more. I don't necessarily know what we want to talk about. That's something that we could talk about. Oh, maybe we could watch a little bit. I did go back and watch my axe sets a little bit.
Cool.
I remember you told me to go back and watch that set because it pointed to a lot of like things I was doing incorrectly in a lot of matchups,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree.
That's good. What did you notice?
I think I was like jumping above him a lot for no reason, and I would like give up ground control. I think a lot of times I wasn't actually like holding my position very well, and when I did hold my position, it was like there was nothing he could do, and then I would just randomly switch it up and then get reversal.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it was like, okay, well, I'm playing neutral really well when like I don't have him pushed into a corner. I'm like doing drift back aerials and tripping him up a lot and getting good damage off my combos. And then like it's either okay, I just jump above him and get up aired into some crazy axe combo or back throw setup, or for some reason I have him in the corner after this big old combo that I did, and now I like choose to press when I don't have to, and then mess up execution and then die.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I went back and watched that, and yeah, that's kind of what I recognize.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to what I was saying. Like, just raw neutral is like not the problem.
Yes.
But also, people don't. This is why I say neutral doesn't matter much. Like, raw neutral makes up like 10% of any given melee match. Like, how often were Mango and None in neutral game? There was like 3 interactions that whole last game where they were in neutral, and neutral ended almost immediately because Mango shot him.
Yep, very true.
Yeah, and it's like you can play neutral as nuanced and high level as you want, but like to me, it's like if you can't convert into kills, then it doesn't matter. And I mean, we saw that with None, where he outplayed Mango in the neutral situations, probably just as much as Mango outplayed him. It's just when Mango outplayed him, he 0-to-deathed him, and when None outplayed him, he got 1 down throw into nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Is that do you think that has to do more with like I've never really thought of it this way, but it's something I guess we already talked. But is it really the punish game, or is it like the deliberation and the like, quality of the openings?
I feel like Falcon Grab is a very good opening, and I feel like Falco lasering Falcon's shield a dash shine distance away is not a very good opening.
That's a good point. So you think that like None actually got better qualities of openings, but just couldn't punish as well?
I feel like that. Plus, his defense was bad.
Yeah.
So it's like his DI was bad, and also he was getting shined like every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think theoretically speaking, like you should at least make Falco like read your full hop or read your roll or something, you know? Like why give him the grounded shine opening? Like that's so bad.
Yeah, definitely.
So like I think if like we could task that match and say, okay, every time None gets a grab, he tech chases him to the corner and then gets like, you know, X% chance to gimp him. And then every time Mango's near him, I feel like None should directly get hit by shine like maybe 20% of the time. Like maybe, but probably not even, because you should just never get shined if possible.
Yeah.
And if you played it like that, like I feel like the quality of Mango's openings would not seem nearly as good.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that I should be approaching in different ways than Mango is? Like let's assume that the Falcons did get better, and he's not just going to give me these free shine openings.
Yeah, and then I think you have to like put him in worse situations before trying to hit him.
Put him in worse situations, maybe condition him in different ways, like trying to grab him and things more frequently.
Or I mean, why not shoot like 2 lasers in place instead of 1? Right? Like even if Falcon's dashing back and jabbing and stuff, like if you laser twice, like yeah, Falcon dashes. It's just like Marth. If he dashes back enough times, like he's in the corner. And Falcon, much like Marth, like the risk reward changes because people are like, oh, Marth combos Falco way harder than vice versa. And I'm like, well, if Falco back airs Marth at 50 in the corner, he's probably dead. You know.
Yeah, true.
Like it's a difference of positioning, right? That's where like a lot of Falco's value comes from.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean that's how I think of it. Like I don't like it's the same as every matchup where I'm like, yeah, the way Mango plays it is pretty good, but like if people played perfectly, he would probably just have to like push them to the corner more and try to hit them less. Because people should be hard to hit in melee, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just very hard to land a hit if your opponent does not want to be hit. So hard.
True. It seemed like None was almost willing to get hit.
Yeah, he was just willing to get hit. That's all it was. Like, if Falcon doesn't want to get hit, like, it's so hard for Falco to hit him.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, right? Like, which is why I was saying, like, if you watch, like, Gatsu versus Mango, like, Gatsu just plays a little differently, and Mango, like, definitely got thrown off by it. Because Gatsu, I've played him, and I think he is willing to not get hit. More so than, like, actively try to hit the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and be more deliberate with the way that I outplay people. I'm going to try and not change things up for no reason because I'm predicting them also complicating the situation and adapting and being really good with their mix-ups. And,
like we've talked about before, even if they were mixing it up, you have to ask yourself, is it even worth playing the mix-up just because it's there, you know?
True.
And a lot of times the answer for Falco is no. Because, again, you lasering their dashback is not an equal win to them grabbing you.
Right.
It is a very unequal win, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, you know, you fight like Zane or something, and like sometimes it does suck because you get grabbed and die.
True.
Yeah. So does that make sense?
It all makes sense. Yes.
Cool. Okay, sick. Good talk then. Practice hard. Enjoy talking about money in the community. I guess that's what I assume you're gonna stream more.
I actually have a date.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is
that
exciting.
Sounds more fun than streaming IMO.
Well, I like ranting about bullshit, but going on a date and seeing a movie is gonna be fun.
Cool. Okay. Well, enjoy. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions before next time.
Okay, will do. Thanks so much, Sammy.
Awesome. Have a good day.
You too. See ya.
See ya.